Well, hello there, and welcome to the post-Vekel Hangout with me, the Global Atheism, aka Dave. I've posted the link. No one's watching, so I don't know I'm saying this, but I've posted the link into the original Vekel discussion video. Although if you're hearing this, you probably know that. So yes, I guess my initial thoughts were again. I don't know why I seem to enjoy these more than my audience. I don't know if that's a fault on my part or if it's because I don't know. I get so embroiled with them that I often overlook things that perhaps people have seen. Quickly reading the comments. There's some interesting ones. Some, I guess, thought-provoking ones again. So I think it was probably a success. Oh, Brett, of course you can join. You actually sent that 5 seconds after me. So if you just hung fire, I'm going to invite people. Actually, how do you do that? Invite. Brett Palmer, you have been invited. Okay, so I've posted an invitation to Brett. Anyone else fancy joining me? I don't know who else is there. I might add Alex Botton. We had a good chat the other day. Who else can I add? I'll see. I don't know what quiet invitation means either. Hello there, Brett. Awkward silence.
Can you hear me?
I can now, yes.
Yay! All right, it works again.
Indeed.
I'm always surprised at technology like this, where I have so much faith. I always have so much faith going into these, hoping that it works.
Every time I do a Hangout, I'm just terrified something's going to just explode or share the wrong thing or do a screenshot of all the terrible, pictures I've got of me and my hilarious beard and stuff like that. So there we go. So, rambling aside, what did you think? I don't know. When did you? Did you come to the whole thing or?
I just jumped in right there, probably within the last, I don't know, 4 or 5 minutes of the thing. So I did not hear very much of it. I just heard the end where you asked him if God could do something impossible, or that he couldn't do something impossible, and you asked him could he make a virgin pregnant. I just thought that was funny.
I guess I can understand where he's coming from, as being a virgin doesn't necessarily mean you can't be pregnant. I can kind of agree with him on that. The problem is you just he's reducing God to doing anything that's like physically possible. You can make a virgin pregnant without violating any laws of logic. That's fine. It's just saying he can't do impossible things. He can do possible things.
He can do what he can do.
Exactly.
It really did boil down to exactly what you were saying. I tell you what, 100 years ago, you wouldn't have been able to get away with making a virgin pregnant. We can do that. Humans can do that now, right?
Exactly.
But 100 years ago, that would have just been absurd, and so that may have worked better. But see, that's what makes this so funny to me. It's like, well, we'll define what he can and can't do. It's very ad hoc. It's as it goes along. I mean, in fact, I'm having a conversation with a guy right now saying that, Jesus died for us, and so he conquered death. And like, well, I don't see that conquered anywhere. People continue to die.
Yeah, that would be more convincing if, yeah.
Well, one of the things I pointed out was, I said, I don't want to bet against science. I'm not saying science will be able to do this, but for all we know, science will be able to cure death. In some fashion, creating bionic parts, that wear out on us, and different things like that. So I'm not going to take the bet that can't happen, but just for a mental experiment, think about it yourself. What's going to happen if human beings are able to do that? Do the very thing that you claim your God does, but we see no evidence for, conquering death. What happens when we conquer death? What are you going to do?
It's an interesting, which hat you're going to throw in the ring. Is it going to be the science one or the religion one? And given,
track record.
Exactly, I'd be much, given the life expectancy when Jesus was around and today.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a competition, but.
Yep, I agree.
So, but yes, and we've got 2 other guests. We've got Atheism TV and Ray.
Hey, is my microphone all right?
You are perfectly loud and clear.
That's all right, cheers.
You've got a terrifying picture, but loud and clear.
That's an actual photograph of myself taken about 30 seconds ago. So that's all right.
So, how did you? Did you see all of it, or?
I didn't. I must have skipped the beginning. I must have missed it because I saw a comment on it. But I picked up the bits on the logical impossibilities that he was talking about with God were interesting to me. One of the ones I picked up on that made a comment was it was logically impossible for God to lie. Did he clarify that? How is that a logical impossibility for God to lie?
I guess he's defining logically impossible as against his nature. So, if he wants to call that logically, I can't do things that are outside of my nature. So, is that logically
I'm God.
outside of one's nature?
But it's